close. That was close.
Shion's emotion and the music do not really work with all the explosions and the shaking. Kind of the opposite way, but...
KOS-MOS is still inside!
Are you crazy? You want to get caught in that? We're leaving now.
You can't!
Don't be afraid, Shion.
Who's that?
Everything will be all right. See with your heart.
Now, one of the two ending themes is called Kokoro, which in Japanese is heart.
Captain! The wall! 400 meters to the port side! Take her in close!
What?
Trust
Do
me,
it.
just hurry!
What do you mean, hurry? Shion!
We have Deus Ex Machina to attend to. Come on.
Tony!
Huh? Tony!
Well done, Tony. What in the hell? Okay, that is just too fucking badass. And that android weighs way more than the little Shion could possibly hold. That would have broken or tore her arm right out of her socket. But, video game logic, I'll take it. That would have worked if Ziggy was there from the start. But, whatever.
KOS-MOS, I really ought to put you on a diet.
There we go. Had to put the joke in there somewhere. We kind of got a little bit of a smile out of her. Kind of. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Who knows? It's not over yet. I know I've said that a few times in this LP, but oh well. We still have to escape. Even though I thought we were already outside, but oh well. This works too. More drama. Oh shit.
Tony!
He's not blind. Yahoo! Oh, I love these chase scenes. Especially when they have references back to Star Wars. Oh yeah, so much so. Well, we broke it up into pieces. We got out of there all right.
Something's wrong.
Everything should be fine now. We did it. We survived. Uh-oh. That's not the right color. What is that?
What's that? I can't hear you. Like I said, the angle of approach is too steep. Well, can't you adjust it?
It's no use. The controls aren't responding. That can't be. All control functions are in the green. The apogee and re-entry balances were damaged by the debris. We can't adjust the logical drive angle any further than this.
You moron! Stop whining and do something about it. You want to be vaporized?
That's probably what'll happen.
External hull temperature exceeding maximum limit.
Uh-oh. Now what?
What will you do?
I don't know. What do you want me to do? I believe that's the voice of Nephilim, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, KOS-MOS. You've already saved the day once.
Wait!
What are you doing?
Relinquish your pain unto me.
I love that line. Not sure why, I just do. I don't have to have a reason for everything. It's a lot of talk about something, what will chaos do? But we haven't really figured it out yet.
It can't be!
Who is the idiot who's trying to blow up the ship before the ship blows up? Wait a minute. Oh boy.
Cosmos, you can't!
She saved the day once,
Leon, I will proceed to shield the Elsa with my energy field.
and she's going to attempt to do it again.
During that time.
Don't be ridiculous! What can you possibly accomplish by doing that?
Do not worry. Maintaining this position for 1 minute and 20 seconds will save the Elsa.
But you'll be incinerated if you do that! Stop this at once!
I am happy to be of service.
External cameras destroyed!
Surprised they weren't destroyed a lot earlier on. There's Nephilim. I know who you are, but nobody else does yet. What are you looking at? Well, I think that's the Compass of Order and Chaos, if they haven't mentioned it yet. It's not a big spoiler if they haven't mentioned it. But... Well, there's KOS-MOS. You see the mother-daughter kind of dynamic between the two. And I believe that's maybe only the second or third time in the entire game KOS-MOS' eyes glow blue. And what the hell? That's it? We're alive? So KOS-MOS was right, she saved us, but... that seems a little too down in the dumps. That's not the way the game's supposed to end. We're supposed to end on a happy note. We can't lose KOS-MOS after the entire game.
Are we okay?
You and your fancy seat, Matthews.
Huh? Hey! Miss Vector!
Huh?
Activate the secondary bow camera.
Which
Roger.
should have been destroyed, but oh well. And yes, they couldn't have left us on such a sad note.
Cosmos.
The indestructible android herself.
Cosmos!
And they blew off her headpiece. This is the other ending theme.
I've been watching you a while since you walked into my life. Monday morning.
And there you go. Those are the two ending theme songs there.
I heard you speak.
Well, we could start with music. Let the credits roll. This is the end review. I always do one of these. Oh, we get a little bit of additional scenage in the side there. I wonder who this guy in a kimono is. Well, we've already seen him, just not since the beginning of the game. This is Jean, Shion's brother.
Was the beginning.
So, the music. They needed more tracks, they needed less areas of silence, and even with those rather large points, it's still an excellent soundtrack. Mitsuda always knocks it out of the park when he works on these games, especially when they have epic storylines or when they have great visuals. He works really well with those
Judging from the
ideas.
circumstances, it's clear that the UTIC organization's target is on Wolfship. there's a vortex of temptation and obsession that still remains. That's what continues to draw them in. And Albedo, he's being drawn in just the same.
Albedo? You mean the URTV Albedo?
Yeah.
He's still alive?
Of course.
He will not die.
He can't.
Not until that time arrives.
And what time would that be? 2 o'clock? 12 o'clock? 1 a.m. I don't know.
Now that was entertaining.
All
that
this
remains
destruction.
is for Lapesh to link up with the UMN, and my objective will be complete.
Did you plan for this?
Do heed my message, Rubido.
Such an excellent villain. From the villain laugh, to the planning, to the intelligence, to the creepiness, everything he
Confirmed
does.
a gate jump by Albedo's craft. This is acceptable?
Yes, that's fine. The door that leads to Abel's Ark, he is the only one who can open it.
There's a possibility that he may link with Udo again.
That won't happen. He doesn't have that much power.
Seriously?
He's only a key.
What?
Of course, we must accept the possibility that he can affect space-time anomalies to some extent. But that's what all of you are for.
All of you?
Still, his will shines with such wondrous light. It's a shame to
Okay.
relegate him to such a minor role.
My thoughts exactly. But,
Don't you think?
well, we'll get into that later. I know I say that a lot, but that's the nature of the plot, which is probably the next thing I should kind of point on, is the plot in this game, while they hide a lot of information, the surface level of what's going on in the game is presented rather clearly, so you know what's going on in the moment. You just don't know why a lot of it's happening. The points that connect you from A to B to C to the end of the game all link together really well. However, it's the underlying things that are all remain hidden, and I think that kind of balance works reasonably well. That's a great shot.
Welcome back.
Yay! Happy ending. Anyway, to kind of add to that, you know, you work with the great plot where it just has all these different ideas working with it. You know, the different plot lines, the different references, all the ideas that haven't really been fully realized yet, and some never get fully realized, and I'll get into that later on. But yeah, the plot, well, I don't think it's as interesting as far as references go as, say, Xenogears. It is definitely really well done, and I really enjoy the plot for this game. The characters, as well, yes, the characters are pretty much all drawn and written really well. They have interesting character dynamics, different character relationships. Characters mean more to certain characters than they do to others. They're not just all thrown in a group and have nothing to do with each other. As I've mentioned before, there's an idea going with Junior, Momo, and Ziggy. They have kind of a three-way dynamic going, and no, that's not supposed to be dirty, shut up. And there's also a dynamic between KOS, KOS-MOS, and Shion, which is a lot more hidden than the other one. They will get into that more in the subsequent titles. This leads me into the subsequent titles themselves. This is part of a trilogy of games, which was originally going to be more than a trilogy. So many ideas are crammed into the third game to kind of wrap everything up. But before we get to the third game and wrap up everything, we need to wrap up some other stuff in episode 2. Now, you have a chance to load your cleared data, and these are just my other files here, so I'm going to save over this one. I am going to do some bonus episodes in this game, but the idea here is you want to save over your, make a different save file for all of the stuff that you want to do. Well, basically for your save game end file. Now, excuse me. There's a lot of things you can do with this, well, not really a lot. There's one thing you can do. You load it up at the start of episode 2 and it does some stuff. However, that can be influenced by certain things that you do in this episode. So some of those things I will be redoing, like I will be doing some leveling to get the final tech for Chaos and some other stuff like that before I go into the finale there and take on the final boss again and save that data again so that we can properly load it up for next time. Anyway, what other points? I didn't really get to talk about the game a lot during the ending, unfortunately. There we go. So we already talked with music, that's excellent, characters are great, story is pretty good, not the best, but great. The gameplay, now, I'm not a big fan of the way they have so many things you can invest points into. You get too many points, you can invest them in too many different things. It's kind of chaotic and confusing, especially during your first playthrough. And I think that is one of the larger things against the game, is not only is it too confusing, but you get nowhere near enough points to level up even most of the stuff. Like, I only got to level 4 on my seal points. In order to get to level 5, I would have to probably get almost every skill that I have. And it's not really worth the extra time since you don't need anything close to it. You can beat the game by not even unlocking a single level 4 skill. It makes the game harder and does a lot of other things that, it just takes longer to kill enemies, but it's by no means necessary in order to defeat the game. And I think that's kind of a detraction from the game. With the way that kind of your characters level up both techs and themselves, again, kind of plays into that. I'm not a big fan of it. I like the destructible object thing, going back to areas, the segment file address thing. That was fun. I like that. Battle system kind of plays in from the gameplay. The battle system is decent, however, takes too long as far as I'm concerned. The battles take too long. And they didn't really learn after after the first game about that when it comes to episode 2. So we're going to see some more long battles coming up. I'm going to try my damnedest to keep them as short as possible and do certain things off screen to make sure that I can get through certain parts and not spend forever in battles, because battles can take a long time in episode 2, even longer than this one where we saw upwards of 15-16-minute boss fights. But that's pretty much all the time I have for this one, and next time we will be doing some bonus stuff in this game, so stay tuned for that. But that's all for the main story of Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 1. Stay tuned for bonus episodes, and then episode 2 coming soon.